beautiful video of Floyd Mayweather, Deion Taylor, and my brother from the Clippers hugging, embracing each other, giving each other props on the red carpet, and I got barely 2,000 views on it.
Wow. They don't want to see that.
No, so don't get mad at me.
Right. All right, y'all.
Hey, it's Tavis. We appreciate all that love, let me tell you, because we may very well be under attack on all sides. Just because you don't believe in conspiracy theories don't mean they ain't after you. But in reality, sometimes stuff happens with the signal from the studio to the tower, which sends our programming to your car, home, office, or your transistor radio.
Your transistor radio. What up, y'all?
The sound is clear all day, all night, anywhere.
What up, what up, what up? It's go time. Y'all know what it is. The VOR in the building. Everybody hit that like button. What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome in. Welcome to the live behind the scenes Voice of Reason show. What up? Everybody hit that like button.
If you're a rock star, you had a supermodel for a girlfriend. Or if you have money, you have, an attractive person that goes around and does stuff with you.
And so what are some of the things that you've provided for some of the women that you've gone on dates with?
Apartments, cars, money, shopping trips, normal stuff.
What's the biggest allowance, for example, you've given someone?
About $8,000 a month.
So you're perfectly comfortable with the fact that these women are seeking you out because you can provide them with something?
Sure, and they're providing me with something too. So it's mutually beneficial.
A lot has changed between the sexes since the feminist movement got women into the workplace and gender equality became a widely held value.
All of us must stand up together and say no more.
But old habits die hard. A surprising number of Americans are hungry for an old-fashioned kind of love, where men financially support women in exchange for companionship. And one man is capitalizing on that desire. Here, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna... Seeking Arrangement founder, Brandon Wade. Okay. Why did you start seeking arrangements?
I was just having so much difficulties with my dating life. I would try the normal dating websites, and I realized it was really difficult for me to stand out. And that's when I remember something that my mom told me when I was growing up, being the nerdy boy that I was. She said, just study hard, focus on your school, and someday when you're successful, you can really use your success and generosity to turn your dating game around.
So you started seeking arrangement because you were having difficulty with your dating life?
That's absolutely right.
And Brandon, you're a very nice, smart guy. Isn't that enough?
Apparently not. On most dating sites, unfortunately, there's no way for your intellect or perhaps your success to shine through.
Brandon set out to change that. In 2006, he launched Seeking Arrangement. Today, it's the most successful in a crop of sugar dating domains. The site also throws parties where babies and daddies can mingle and wear a mask if they want to go incognito. Is there a typical profile on Seeking Arrangement?
The average sugar baby is 27, typically has a college degree or is going to college. The average guy is 40 years old. He makes $250,000 or more every single year.
What percentage of sugar daddies are married?
Roughly 40% are married.
They're essentially trying to find mistresses.
I would say so. They're looking for a relationship elsewhere to spice up their life.
As someone who considers herself a feminist and has always been insistent on paying for everything myself, it just seems like you're taking women back.
These relationships tend to be a lot more empowering.
Okay, let's stop it. You're taking women back? See, listen, man, if we're going to have an intellectual conversation about this, right, we're going to have to hold everybody who participates in it accountable. It was just described in the clip that they throw parties where the babies and the daddies go there under their own volition, their own free will, and they wear masks. Is the clip still up? Oh my goodness. See, this makes perfect sense to me, right? While everybody out there having an imbalanced conversation about relationships, this is how you know it don't matter if people have degrees. It doesn't matter if people have studied, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, when the conversation is framed in a victim, villain kind of, framework, that's how you know somebody's looking for a way to get out of being accountable for their own decisions. You're taking, as a feminist, I think you're taking women back. Maybe it's because of your feminist perspective that your perspective is in fact skewed. There are women that want to participate in this. Now, let me tell you something. Years ago, I was really tight with Karen Hunter. And Karen Hunter, she's a publisher and a radio personality. Karen Hunter hooked me up with someone she wrote a book with, and it was a pimp. But I was nervous about having the pimp on my show. But she assured me, she was like, look, this brother is fire. She was like, the book is fire. It's not some street stuff. It's really insightful. And she was like, and I made sure of it because my name is on it too, and I'm publishing it. So she hooked me up with Pimpin' Ken, the 48 Laws of Pimpology. And I'm asking Ken about, pimping women and how does that make you feel? And you got mamas and aunties and, I'm asking him. And he's really being honest. He says, sir, I don't choose no woman that don't choose the game. I said, ooh, what? Huh? He said, yeah. They got to choose the game before I choose them. Because I asked him, I said, I know you wouldn't roll up on a sister from the Nation of Islam. He said, of course not. She's respectable. She's in a different world. He said, but the women in this world have chosen this world. Do you see? So just responding to the clip, what's the journalist's name? I know that's a CNN clip. What was her name?
Lisa Ling.
Lisa Ling. I love Lisa Ling's work. And she was doing an expose on, I guess, this underground culture. And maybe it's not so underground, right? Sugaring. It's a whole culture called sugaring, where younger women seek older men, men of renown, men of wealth, men of resources, right? To be in their lives. And some of these women will go after these men for bona fide relationships. Some of these women just go out for the resources. But either way, the resources are a part of it. Sugar babies are what they're called, looking for sugar daddies. Tonight's topic, sugaring, aka the covert courtesan, an intriguing look into the escort culture, i.e., the high-class courtesan. Sugaring is when a younger woman and an older man, wealthy man, form a relationship in which the man, the sugar daddy, gives the woman, the sugar baby, money, gifts, trips, homes, whatever, in exchange for the time they spend together, or in exchange for the opportunity to cultivate an authentic relationship. The phenomenon often draws comparisons to prostitution. I call it passive-aggressive prostitution. Both prostitution and sugaring involve exchanging money for intimate services, while sugaring does not always include sexual acts. You guys remember Anne Boleyn from France, who wooed the king? She wooed him not by giving him sex, but by withholding it. Oh, my goodness. Well, it's often a part of the arrangement. Those who are involved in sugaring often differentiate between prostitution and sugaring by emphasizing the dating aspect of sugaring. Has social media become sugar baby's new pimp? 1-800-920-1580. See, because what I don't want to hear no more. You hear high-value man, low-value man, high-value woman, low-value woman. Let me just say this. It doesn't matter how accomplished you are in American society. If you haven't done any internal work, if you haven't conquered any demons, you're a low-value person. Or Krishnamurti even went harder. He said, you're a second-hand person. If you haven't reconciled the wounds, if you haven't reconciled the toxicity you modeled in childhood, male or female, okay? You're a second-hand person. That makes you low value. If you pimp your beauty and your booty, if you pimp the two of them, if you're pimping your wallet, if you're pimping what you've accomplished in life in order for somebody to find you intriguing. Oh, you sell widgets. Oh, that's interesting. In my Shrouded Lighthouse book, I share a story that I shared with my daughter. I said, never fall for a man's talent. Oftentimes, a man's talent is enough to grab a woman's attention. Oh, he's funny. Oh, he's intelligent. Oh, he has an amazing sense of humor, or he plays the piano, or he plays multiple instruments, or he sings, or whatever. I said, do not get caught in a man's talent. His talent does not reflect his character, who he is, what he's overcome, what he hasn't overcome. Conversely, I told my son the exact opposite. I said, son, it doesn't matter how pretty she is. What's the nature of her relationship with her father? Was he there? And if he was there, did he pour something valuable into her? What's the nature of her relationship with her mother? The family dynamic. Who are they? What do they believe? What did she model? Well, it makes sense. My son got his degree in philosophy. He followed, he listened. What is hypergamy? And what role does it play in social media and the advent of sugar baby culture? Is the celebrity baby mama culture a form of modern day courtesism? The courtesan, much like the geisha girl from Japan, is supposed to be highly intelligent and aware of many things. Why? Because they will be keeping the company of so-called high-value men, accomplished men, wealthy men. So the geisha girl in Japan must know politics. She must know poetry. She must know philosophy. She must know psychology. She got to be a therapist. She's got to be a whole bunch of things in order to take these world leaders and dominant people away from their world for a time. Are we living in a culture where this is being couched in the new concept of sugaring? Are these relationships sweeter than other relationships? Is sugar baby culture an ill-informed, bastardized version of hypergamy? What are some distinctions between a hypergamous woman and being considered an escort and or a sugar baby? When we come forward, the voice of reason shall continue cooking up this fire. Call me, call me, call me. Y'all don't get scared now. Y'all want to get scared. Now she got relationship diabetes. Y'all stupid. Call me right now. Call me, call me, call me. Get on your phone line. Get on your phone line. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I want to get you guys on now. I don't want to set it up. Get on now. What up, y'all? Hey, if you can, hey, somebody drop $5 on the super chat. Who just dropped $5 on the super chat? I want to shout them out. Who is it? Kula Davison, blessings. Thank you for all your knowledge you give. Thank you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can everybody hit the like button and show your appreciation for that first super chat of the night? If you want to super chat, if you want to support the channel, if you want to hit my Cash App, relate a hope. Where's Ronan when I need him? That's funny. Relate a hoe is crazy. That's bananas. Reach out, reach out. Everybody hit it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Some men are elderly and they want young girls. I'm not advocating sex work, but if he's 60 and she's 25, you know what it is. For example, Hugh Hefner. You could call in and say these things. Mimi will accept fruit and other snacks just for looking. That's stupid.
This is not just your
Hit that Cash App, $ so what netter. Moderators, assemble. Please put my Cash App in the super chat. Y'all show y'all love. I'm gonna check that Cash App from time to time, maybe on the break, and let you know who participated. Twos and Fuse, hit the super chat. Please hit the like button. What up, Swift Bitness? Hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's get in the algorithm.
Great man.
I've read enough books and heard enough talk to believe I'd know one if you were before me.
I'm curious. Do you see one here?
Looking, my lord. Still looking, my lord. Oh, there. Found one.
So forgiveness, you say, makes a man great. What else?
The ability to recognize his match in others and not be threatened by it.
He's matching other men.
Women too.
You believe that? That women can be the match of men?
It's a question women have asked themselves for some time. But we concede men do have some value. So we accept them as equal.
Very interesting clip. That's Natalie Portman playing Anne Boleyn, and she's in the court of and I guess that film is called The Other Anne Boleyn, and she's in the court of King Henry. Now you remember Anne Boleyn lost her head messing around with King Henry because of rumors that she had been, in the French court, and her and her sister, I think they called her sister Mary the Great Whore. Her and her sister were accused of being with hundreds of men in the French court. But because of their father, Thomas Boleyn, he was raised up by the king, King Henry VIII, all the way to Lord Privy Seal. And basically, he was like the CEO of the kingdom. And at that time, King Henry was taking over the Church of England because he wanted a divorce from his wife, Catherine. And they put Anne Boleyn in front of him, and he was smitten by her. She wouldn't give in to him, wouldn't give in to his desires. And they used her to whisper, new concepts and ideas about religiosity and the Reformation. And ultimately, she overstepped. She became queen, but she overstepped. and wound up losing her head for overstepping. And the rumors of her previous life before she came to court came back to haunt her. But she's always seen as the perfect courtesan or sugar baby or escort, or because for a while she was his mistress while he was going fighting in the courts to get his divorce. That's why we played that clip. True or false? Sugar baby is a term used to obfuscate the connection between the functionality of hypergamy and social status of courtesans. Can you be charged with prostitution or solicitation for engaging in sugaring? It's a whole sugar baby culture out here. Have you ever been asked to pay all of their bills as a sign of your manhood? As a show that you're down and loyal with them? As a show that you are a man? Because what man wouldn't? 1-800-920-1580. How does the transactional nature of sugaring challenge the concepts of unconditional love as posited by spiritual figures like Jesus Christ and the Buddha? None of that matters. Ain't nobody spiritual when you're sugaring, when you're positioning yourself to be taken care of, when you feel like you're beautiful enough to be owed some type of payment for your presence. If you're not a bodhisattva, should I pay you for your physicality? Ooh. When we come forward, the voice of reason shall continue cooking. It's about to be crazy up in here. Them phone lines ain't cracking. I know y'all know what's up. Thank you, Mimi. She was for the village. Y'all stupid. What up, Rev L Ratchet? You know you could get on the line. You talk about you listening. You know. That's why I want to hear from y'all. Everybody, please keep hitting the like button. Let me check, see what we looking like. What up, y'all? We got one Cash App and one Super Chat. Everybody good? Everybody all right? Barbary is the one who hit us with the Cash App. I think I said his name right. Swift Business. If you at work, I know you can't call. It's all good. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome into the live, y'all. You're looking at the behind the scenes of the Zoe Williams Voice of Reason show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA is Tavis Smiley's radio station here in Los Angeles. Welcome in. Like during the breaks, I'll be talking to y'all, acting crazy, but then a friend of mine told me how different this behind the scenes. Derek, Zoe, where you been? Where you been? I've been right here. I've been doing this radio show for over 2 years. Dina, Jackie Robinson, Pasadena. But yeah, I've been here. I was saying something. In my 20s, my uncle told me sleeping with old women gives you worms. Wow. What up, Raw Dills? Everybody hit the like button, hit the share button. My wife and kids, y'all stupid. KBLA Talk 1580, that's where we're at. But yes, I let a friend of mine listen to the Apple Podcast version, and I would love for you guys to flood Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever, and leave 5-star comments for your brother. Please, please, please. But yeah, he was like, man, it sounds so much different than the live broadcast. He said the live broadcast, you don't hear the music is clear. You don't, I was like, yeah, because it's behind the scenes. And he was like, man, he was like, when you're listening on the podcast, it's so clean, it's edited. You hear the music, you hear the callers. It all sounds like really fire. And I was like, all right, cool. So if you get a chance, go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Plus, all those places. Leave comments, 5-star comments. Let me know what you think. And thank you for the likes. They must not know how YouTube. Well, they know. They just haven't been listening to the podcast. But when you listen to the podcast, it's really clean. It's not a full 2 hours. They edit out all the commercials, so it drops down to about 1:15, 1:20. It's pretty good. I listened to one episode the other day. I listened to that Darshan episode. That Darshan episode, top tier. Fire. Call in 1-800-920-1580. Suge Mac 510. What up? Welcome in.
Courtesans are, of course, a kind of sex worker, but they're not a kind of sex worker that we have in the world today. They were sex workers so fancy that you couldn't offend them by offering to pay them. They weren't like a prostitute where there's a list of prices for specific sexual acts. Instead, you have to think of them as an elegant entertainer with benefits. But in order to get those benefits, you need to court them with diamonds, not cash. And there might be a few courtesans in the world today, but it's not a big feature of society. But it was in many societies in the past, in classical China and Japan and ancient Greece, and then in Europe from the Renaissance until the 1920s or 30s, but particularly in Venice and in Paris above all. And of course, these women were beautiful and were also sexy and perhaps even famously good in bed. But that isn't the only thing they were famous for. They were also famous for their talents as conversationalists or singers or actresses. And ultimately, they were a subject of fascination in their culture. They were the women everyone was talking about. And thus they appear in the arts, in the visual arts, and also in novels like The Lady of the Camellias, and in opera, where many of the fabulous diva roles like Violetta in La Traviata or Madonna Butterfly are courtesans.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Do we see any similarities? Listen to Sexy Red. Is she... What is the voice of the music? What is the voice of Cardi B? The music. What is the voice of Little Kim's music? Right? These are artists, right? Musicians, right? And I'm not trying to tear them down. What I'm saying is there is a message of it's for sale in the records. I'm for sale, for that matter. But I think what the latter-day courtesan may have had in talent and personality and fascination, today's version, sugar baby, escort, lacks. They don't have internal meaning, many of them. Can we be honest? They think if they're attractive, they deserve money. They deserve your resources. They deserve access to your wallet. And because some of them may have yet to find meaning within themselves, it's virtually impossible for them to find meaning in you. If we go back to Ling's journalistic piece at the beginning of this hour, she said, why would you have to do that? You are intelligent. She gave the man praise. Listen, meaning has no meaning today. Let's just be real. Meaning has no meaning. People wouldn't know what something meaningful was if it smacked them in the mouth. What has meaning is what I can get from you. That's what has meaning. What can you provide? And if you require sexual favors, if you require an ear to listen, a shoulder to cry on, I will give you all of that so long as I don't have to worry about life. The practice of sugaring, where a younger woman, the sugar baby, forms a relationship with an older man, wealthy man, the sugar daddy, in exchange for monetary gifts and other forms of material support, occupies a controversial space at the intersection of modern relationships and ancient transactional paradigms. This phenomenon, often likened to the high-class escort culture, challenges traditional notions of intimacy, power, and gender roles, blurring the lines between affection and economic exchange. As sugaring gains visibility, It warrants a deeper exploration beyond its surface level dynamics by integrating the insights of spiritual teachings, psychological theories, and metaphysical framing. We can begin to try to unravel the complexities and implications of sugaring within the context of modern relational practices. Now, this is ugly because I am the father of a soon to be 25-year-old daughter. I have poured so much philosophy, so much meaning, so much understanding of the world to the best of my ability into her. I would never want her to sugar, right? Cognitive sweetness, cognitive empathy, it all sounds a lot like narcissism. And because you use sugar, it sounds like covert narcissism. It sounds like manipulation. I'm sorry. If you think it's different, then tell me, right? Tell me something different. But that's what it sounds like to me. I would never want to put my daughter in a situation to where she would have to perform, right? She would have to tap dance. She would have to act like, yes, I'm down with this political candidate because you are. But in her heart, she might be seeing you as a coon. Very interesting stuff tonight. When we come forward, because Andy he's telling me, man, it's time to go. When we come forward, I'm going to peel the layers back a little further as I continue to set up this powerful topic. Call me, y'all. Where do y'all waiting on? I don't understand. Get in here. Y'all want me to keep talking? Y'all like the way I'm setting this up? Great topic. Is it? Let's participate then. I judge these topics on y'all actions. Y'all calling in, y'all hitting the like button, we talking, we're communicating. I know sometimes these topics be heavy than a mug. Nobody's out here talking about this stuff in this way, right? We get a guttural version of it, right? We get a low consciousness version of it, but we rarely get a nuanced and intellectual look at it. So y'all get involved. Call me with your thoughts. Brothers, has any woman asked you for $5,000? Has any woman ever asked you to pay all of her bills? I'm interested to know. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Don't worry, LS Jefferson, don't worry. We in here. Shaquille, you should call in. Share your story with me. 1-800-920-1580. Like every girlfriend ever. Really? I don't see that phone lit up yet. Do a sugar fast. Deanna, yes, so much to say, but I've been drinking, so no. You've been drinking? Mhm.
Women are they like, swipe right, they like the profiles of only 4% of the men that they see on the app, whereas for men, when they see female profiles, they swipe right or like more than 60%. That's 60% of the profiles they see.
So that's really worth concentrating on, because that's a great example of hypergamy. Right? So women mate across and up success hierarchies, and men meet across and down. Right. So, and women like men who are about 4 years older, cross-culturally. They like men who manifest signs of success, as well as being handsome and personable and all of that. And the reason for that, as far as I can tell, is that they're looking to equalize the economic disparity that exists because women take a harder hit from sex and pregnancy than men.
Okay, I'm just presenting it. Don't shoot the messenger. This is real life stuff happening. Have you ever been in a relationship where someone faked how they felt about you until they figured out your financial situation? The flip side of it is there are men out there that have means, right? And that don't mind paying for it, right? You're going to pay for it some kind of way, right? So just like Ling's journalistic piece in the beginning, she led with a man that was like, yeah, they give me what I want. I see that as a psychologically underdeveloped man. I'll just purchase what I want instead of attracting it. I'm not used to attracting what I want. I was bullied. I was the nerd. I was the square. I was the L7. I was the goofy guy. So you know what? I'll just make the money, just like his mother told him. Make the bread, and then you'll be able to make relationship decisions later on because you'll be successful. Does that sound like entering into a meat market? Truemonger says it's paying them to behave. My God, paying for their loyalty? Eesh. Whoa. This is a real topic. I didn't make up this culture. Sugar babies are looking for sugar daddies. Hypergamy, the practice of marrying up in social or economic status, is a concept that has long existed across cultures. However, in the age of social media, it has morphed into a more overt and commodified form of relational aspiration. The rise of the sugar baby culture can be seen as a distorted manifestation of hypergamy, one that reflects both a deep-seated desire for security and as an existential disconnection from spiritual wholeness. Do you know how many women tolerate broken, damaged men of means? That's Cam Newton sitting there talking to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Am I lying? Man, I said, I don't care. Listen, I don't want to get married because of whatever. But that ain't going to stop me from having 8 kids. And because I'm a man of means, I can afford it. Right? Did you hear what I said? You hear me say this all the time. Everybody want to lean into gender roles, man, protect and provide. Yep. That has nothing to do with what he has healed within himself. And this imbalance in the presentation of the argument. You know, a low value man, that means he can't pay for what you should be paying for as a damn adult. Okay, cool. That's one thing. All right, because you get what I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna use. Guess what? I'm gonna use some feminist concepts. I should be able to do what I want. I pay for what I want. I got my own. I'm independent. Da, 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 until it's time for you to get a man. Well, I should be able to keep all my money, and we use your money to live. Wait a minute. What happened to independence? And do you get what I'm saying? This is a transactional society. Nobody wants to own up to it. Nobody wants to admit to it. This is a usury-based society. If I can't use you to cultivate quiet in my life, you really have no value. I get to discard, I get to mistreat, I get to gaslight, I get to ghost, I get to do all type manner of stuff to you because you're not my relational ATM machine. This is heavy stuff. This is happening in the world. The mirror of transactional relationship, as described by Krishnamurti, right? Krishnamurti's teachings on self-awareness and the mirror of relationship offer profound insights into the psychological underpinnings of sugaring. In this context, the sugar daddy and sugar baby mirror each other's deepest insecurities and unmet needs. The sugar daddy, often an older man seeking to recapture his youth or assert his status, may project his fears of aging and inadequacies onto the sugar baby. Conversely, the sugar baby, typically younger and navigating the complexities of identity and self-worth, may see in the sugar daddy a surrogate provider or protector reflecting her own unresolved anxieties about independence and value. Krishnamurti would argue that such relationships, while seemingly consensual, are inherently exploitative, as they are rooted in unconscious patterns of dependency and control, rather than mutual respect and understanding. I know you don't want to hear it put this way, but is your love life paid off? Or because you're in arrears, you can't afford the love life you want? 1-800-920-1580. I know people don't like when I come in here and talk like this, but these are the type of conversations that are necessary, damn it. They're necessary. When your spirit stops attracting love opportunities, that's a sign that you haven't even started the healing process. When people avoid you like a pile of poo, well, even flies are attracted to poo. But when people avoid you, people can feel your spirit, don't want to be a part of anything you got going on, not connected. Come on. That's telling you got work to do internally. Doesn't matter how much you have. It's what you are. It's who you are. And society, unfortunately, has made spirituality seem so unattainable. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's hard. But society has made the spiritual work so nebulous, we tend to think, oh, well, I'll never get that. It'll be easier to become a millionaire and buy the woman I want. Yikes. I am not here to babysit your wounds or your bills. Now, as a man in American society that has some means, I don't mind. Like in my relationships, I don't say, who we splitting the bill? You get the tip. I don't do none of that. I'll pay for the bill, you pay for the tip. I've never done that. It's not even a conversation for me because I know she's there for me. Or at least they look that way until the gambit is exposed. When I come forward, the voice of reason. Hey, man, we about to get it. Let's go. Now, that's an hour-long setup. Y'all bugging on the phone calls. I don't know what's up with y'all. Get to your phone lines. Y'all bugging. I should not have to set up a show for an hour. Y'all bugging. Y'all bugging. Oh, you like Gambit? Why did we time out Shaquille? What did he say? Oh, he said I was trolling. I'm not trolling, but I felt like this playlist, Shaquille, I felt like the playlist is indicative of the climate of what's happening, right? Miss JB, always so good to see you. Thank you for popping in. Thank you. Everybody, please thank Miss JB. Thank you, Miss JB. No, but I think that the playlist, right, fits the topic. That's what Andy was like, yo, the playlist locks in, right? Escort hop. Stop. As Shaq, Will Smith, Tyrese, or Judge Mathis, ask if money can buy you love or loyalty. Man, that's why I need y'all to call in and talk to me. Let me say this. When you're happy, make an agreement. That's the prenuptial agreement. If you divorced, stick to your prenuptial agreement. Y'all should call in. I want to hear your thoughts. Y'all got me just talking. Miss JB, at it again. We love you. Thank you, Miss JB. Are they worth the wait? You good. It ain't nothing but love. Thank you.
Daddies, maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like, that's okay. Roll down. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with a bad vibes routine. How does he maintain his composite?
He likes it when it's pink in the lip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
So William, reason and accountability. The voice of reason.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is PsychHacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is what men don't understand about female selection. So, thanks to the internet, there has been an explosion of awareness on this topic in recent years, and this has afforded the current generation a uniquely privileged position to understand female mating and dating behavior more clearly and precisely than ever before. The quantity and quality of information available on the subject just weren't available to men even 10 years ago. And while some of this information can be a bitter pill to swallow, I hold that it is ultimately of benefit to both men and women that it is now more widely known. One of the most important concepts in this cache of information is hypergamy, the tendency to mate and date up, to choose men who, for example, are taller, stronger, richer, and higher status. Hypergamy influences almost every aspect of female sexual selection and has a number of significant downstream consequences, so it's really, really important to understand this concept. Unfortunately, there are two common ways in which the concept is misunderstood by men, and I want to address these in today's talk. So, let's get to it. The two misunderstandings roughly correspond to the two general reactions men seem to have in response to learning about the reality of hypergamy. The first is the most prevalent, as it, unfortunately, corresponds to the more common reaction of men. Basically, when a lot of men, especially young men, learn about women's sexual selection criteria, they get really discouraged. They hear that women are only interested in the top 10% of men. They consider, well, they weren't in the top 10% of men in high school or in college or in young adulthood, and they inappropriately conclude, A, that they could never enter into those upper echelons, or B, that even if they could, the payoff wouldn't be worth the time and effort required, i.e., the juice isn't worth the squeeze. They look at themselves, think, well, I don't have anything a woman is really going to want, and conclude, why bother? And on some level, it's like, fair enough. Dating is not symmetrical. Men initiate the vast majority of interactions, so men disproportionately experience more rejection than women do on the front end, and women terminate the vast majority of relationships, so men disproportionately experience more rejection than women do on the back end. And this rejection can be painful on a number of different dimensions. These men may be rashly concluding that a high-risk, low-reward endeavor doesn't make sense for them. If we were talking about investing their money, we would call this decision prudent, and no one would have a problem with it. On the other hand, lots of people seem to have a problem with the same decision being made about women. These men need to grow up, man up, stop sniveling, and frankly, fall in line. This is hardly fair, and would likely make a good topic for a future video. However, my point here is that these men misunderstand the payoff of hypergamy. After all the time and effort expended to align with the criteria of hypergamy, the payoff is not that a woman has ultimately provided security and material resources, or even that a man is offered sex and a relationship. The payoff is the growth and prosperity that redound to the man as a result. What does this mean? Well, a top 10% man can only indirectly benefit a woman, and then only if she can acquire and maintain access to the man. However, a top 10% man directly benefits himself. He directly benefits from being stronger and wealthier and higher status. These things are primarily good for him, and at best, only secondarily good for others. Even if much of his wealth and status are stripped from him by a divorce or a breakup, which can certainly happen in today's society, he remains the source of that value, and he became the source of that value in the transformational process of becoming a top 10% man. So this is the first misunderstanding about hypergamy, that it primarily benefits women. It doesn't. It primarily benefits men and can only indirectly benefit women, namely if a man chooses to bestow the benefit upon her. Now, before I'm going any further, if you're liking what you're hearing, please consider sending this episode to someone who might benefit from it.
Yo, fire. I had to play that because there probably were some women out there that was thinking I was hating. And we played a clip that supports your argument. If you believe in the hypergamous route of selecting high value men. Isn't that hypergamy? When what's my man? Kevin Samuels said it before, years before he died, a high value man. He's really talking about hypergamy. Because if you talk to women today, it's part of pop culture now. Women don't want a low value man, right? Because spirituality is so nebulous. See, just because terms are pervasive, it doesn't mean that understanding of those terms are equally pervasive. Everybody's talking about narcissism, but most people have no idea of what it is. Everyone has narcissistic tendencies, but not everyone can be clinically diagnosed as having NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. And many people don't know the difference between the two, right? So, high value man might mean successful man, but he could still be abusive to himself and others, right? Successful man has millions of dollars, has access to millions of dollars, has resources, homes, cars, everything, but hasn't won one single internal battle. Now, the same could be applied to women. She could be the finest thing. She could be fine as frog hair on a baby toad. A toad is different than a frog, by the way. She could be fine as frog hair. She could have little back dimples. She could have that hourglass shape. Oh, my Lord. She could be fire and water, fire and ice in the bedroom. But if she hasn't healed or hasn't started the healing process, hasn't won any internal battles, she's just going to bring chaos into your life. Right? She's going to bring that chaos to mirror the chaos that's already there. Thus, the mirror of relationship. I want to get to my caller real quick. JW from Los Angeles is on the line. JW, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey, brother, I'm surprised you came to me right now. I stepped on some forces to chill out. But anyway, yeah, I always catch your show once you're already in progress, and I have to try to put together the subject matter. But yeah, what I wanted to bring to your listeners' perspective, and is the old school how it originated, at least from my point of view, being a 68-year-old person. Back in high school, I can recall the two different categories of men. One might be a hardcore guy, thinking he's like pimping or whatever, a player or whatever, and he says, yeah, man, you know, I got this female, you know, I'm going to use the term called a prize. That's what Nika Marie discussing. She used that term prize, referring to that woman. She considered herself as a prize. And he would say, yeah, man, I called her, man, I got that, blah, blah, blah. And I would say, hey, bro, no, you ain't hardcore, you ain't this and that, that's what you think you are, because I don't care if you put gas in your own car and took it to the movies and paid for the ticket for you and her and bought the popcorn, you paid for the prize. And, you know, instead of another word. And then the other category would be maybe the Sam Sutherland or the nerds or whatever term you may want to use. They may have particular tools such as, you know, they're middle class and they got nice clothes and they have a car, just and they consider that a tool as of attracting that prize. And I said, no, because, you know, the point is that the particular females that they're going after, maybe let's put them in the category of gold diggers or other categories, and you can just use whatever categories you want to come up with, but associated with that. The point is, society has grown or conditioned us from that age up to this point. And it's a sad thing because, in terms of character and principle and all that, that's the value. And the Ken Samuels and all that, and hypergamy and so on and so forth, material worth or wealth or things that society has termed as what is real value, but reflecting what the real tangible value or spiritual value or all the above is, having that character principles, ethics, morals, and all the above. And that's something that has been devalued. But, the sugar daddy and sugar baby type of aspect is just what's prevalent now in society, and it's sad. And that's my point.
Well, brother, I appreciate you calling in, and thank you for your thoughts on tonight's topic. Guess what you just did, my friend?
Yeah, boss officer in the house.
There you go, man. JW is always welcome to call in. He brought South Central in the building. Let me just say, spending money on your woman ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay? Taking care of her ain't nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. If you got it, do it. Right? If you've worked hard and you got a beautiful woman, why not? Right? I think it becomes problematic for me. Don't demand it. Don't make it a prerequisite in order to be with you. Because to me, you send a message that you're for sale. Do you understand? Like, you got to do it. No, I don't have to do anything. Right? If you are connected to the truth of yourself, there's something in you that should be able to see something in me that is of a higher quality. If my quality comes from my Audi, if my quality comes from, where I live, if my quality comes from the relationships I have, nah, we good. We good. You telling me what you're here for. If you move like a courtesan, I'm going to see that in the same light as I see a covert narcissist. You're performing to make headway with me. I'm not with any of that. Please understand, ladies. I want you to hear something. Please understand. Every man's character is a work in progress. That quality you like, he's a good dad, or he's a, he's an honest businessman. He's a disciplined person. Let me tell you again, every good quality in every man is under construction. And I'm going to tell you the same. Every bad quality in every man is under construction. And guess what else, sister? This applies to you too. If you got to sell your nurturing, if you got to sell your understanding, your softness, your femininity, do you know you're your own pimp? I know people don't want to hear it tonight. I'm hitting nerves. That's why people scared to call in. I know what kind of topic this is. 99% of us are guilty of it. But I'm going to tell you This is why maybe all of the conversations about self-awareness should trigger you now. Because the more self-aware you are, the more self-wise you become. And when there is a self-wisdom, there will be a reluctance to sell oneself. Do you understand? A sugar baby is selling herself to a sugar daddy, and a sugar daddy is conversely doing the same. Because under his own character, he wasn't able to attract the type of woman he wanted. So he needed his career to do it. He needed his bank account to do it. They say wisdom is better than gold. The ethical considerations surrounding sugaring are complex and multifaceted. From a moral standpoint, teachings from the great Jesus Christ and the Buddha emphasize compassion, non-attachment, and the inherent value of all individuals. Sugaring, when viewed through this lens, raises questions about the commodification of human relationships and the potential dehumanization of those involved. The karmic implications are suggested by Krishna. They further complicate the matter. When you put karma into it, oh, you use this person as a relational ATM. Let's see how that works out in the end. Oh my goodness. When we come forward, the voice of reason shall continue frying your faces. Turning tricks for Jesus. Let me see. Motherfuckers scared to call in tonight. I see it. And it's fucked up. Y'all want to call in on everything else? Call in now. Reverend Jim and L Ratchet. Wait, and Deanna, thank you so much for your cash apps. We got 4 cash apps for the show today. But thank you guys. Deanna, thank you. Hustle Habit, please, brother. Now, Andy just went to the bathroom, so wait until I tell you to call, then call. But thank you guys. We got 3. We got Deanna, Reverend L Ratchet, and Jim, J-E-M, like Gemini with a J, Jim. Attila should have been called in. I don't even know why Attila didn't call in. This, I'm telling you though, this show, it bothers people. Oh, by the way, I didn't want to say this on the air, but my little cousin, he passed away. The one I told you guys about yesterday, he passed away. And that's what that phone call during the show last night was about. They was just letting me know that he in fact passed away. Only 26 years old. You know, my granddaughter was just with him. You know, he was in the age group of my sons and daughter. You know, the cousins are at basically the same age. They all know each other. They all cool with each other. They all rock with each other. So to hear that, you know, he took his life, they're all kind of messed up. And then his uncles, who are my first cousins, they all messed up. His grandmama messed up. You know, everybody messed up over this one. You know, everybody. Because he's such a kind-hearted kid. I mean, in a lot of ways, he's exactly like his father. Like his father, man, was just very quiet, don't talk a lot, just real chill. His junior was the same.
I wrote a book called The Art of Seduction. The goal is to make you out there a master seducer in life and to help you get rid of your anti-seductive tendencies. Very important. The following is a compilation of all those seductive interviews I've done over the years in which I've discussed the many ideas in this book. So I hope you enjoy it. So the first thing we have to agree on here is you want the ability to influence people. You want the ability to persuade them, to be able to move them to some degree in your direction, to get them interested in your ideas, and to be honest with yourself that this is something that you want. The second thing you have to be aware of is that you're usually going at it from the wrong end. You're thinking
Pause it.
first and foremost.
It just upsets me. This is manipulation. It upsets me. Listen, this is what I'm saying, man. We are a society of users. All of us. Your spirit can't do the talking for you. I did a show. We're going to play it during, Memorial Day weekend. I did a show called Relationship Darshan. And we talked about the Sanskrit term darshan, being able to see the divine in someone else. And we talked about the term namaste, the divine in me bows to the divine in you. Listen, we are so far away from that kind of sighting in relationships. This is why we have some of the dumbest conversations about relationships. Right? I mean, the subject matter is dumb and it's imbalanced for the most part. Right? Well, that's why there's so many low-value men. Wait a minute. You mean there is a vacuum pocket of a multitude of high-value women? No. We're going to look at it on the bell curve. The majority of everybody is in the center of the bell. And the high-end people are on one far end of the bell, and the low, very low, bottom end people are on the other side of the bell. And guess what? In the middle, pretty much the average people that are works in progress trying to figure it out. And I would even go higher and say, in the center of the bell, most people are broken, corrupted, wounded, damaged, works in progress, hurtful, hurting and hurtful. I say on that far end, some people are not redeemable. But all the people in the middle of the bell, in the center of the bell, yes, with all that hurt, with all that pain, with all that fear, with all of that, they're still redeemable. But when we're looking and sizing people up based on what they can give us, right? Both the takers and the givers. You cannot separate the taker from the giver. The giver is giving because the giver is lacking. What? Oh, absolutely. Do you know how many people who are empty and scared and frightened and broken are giving to try to get something back? It's not a Good Samaritan type giving, a selfless giving. That giving, whatever they gave you, their self is wrapped in the gift. The self is the wrapping paper. And then the taker, because they're empty, I can put this in me. And because they gave me this, that means something. When you start healing, you start to realize that there is no space for the infinite. What? Yeah, there's no space to put something else. You're infinite. You have everything. You are everything. You're one with everything. You're in need of nothing. Just like in the Quran, when Allah is saying, right? Allahu as-Samad. Allah is the needless. When you tap into your higher consciousness, you have this sense of needlessness. I don't need your approval. I don't need your gifts. I don't need your affection. You start to understand, I am affectionate. I am forgiveness. I am approval. I am acceptance. Not I need any of those things. Do you understand? But because we live in such a low vibrational society, we are in desperate need of all of those things from other people. And that's the worst place to get it. When we come forward, I promise you, I'm going to Dallas, Texas. Let's talk about it. Hey, I think she better than Meg Thee Stallion. Hey, what's the name of her record? Andy. Andy can't hear me. Hey, call in now, hustle. Hey, please continue to hit my Cash App. If you're enjoying tonight's show, if you appreciate tonight's show, please, 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 can everybody in the chat right now that has not done it, please, 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 if you haven't gone to my Cash App, please go there right now. $ Zo What Netter. $ Zo What Netter. And I want to shout out everybody that does it. This is my longest break. So please show up. Attila, where are you? Where are you, Attila?
I know a lot of independent women that would still want a man to pay for their bills and everything like
Hey.
that. Straight up.
And you know what? Two things.
Yeah.
What's the Glorilla record? It's 745. It's 95 degrees. You know, they got all that shit on TikTok, and
I don't know the name of it, but I know what you're
I want to hear that record.
that one?
And then the other thing is, damn it. Oh, remember Ebony K was talking to Iyanla Van Zant a year ago?
Yeah.
And she was like, what if he drove a bus?
100%.
Well, he better own the bus.
Right.
Can we get that clip? Yeah. And listen, do y'all hear how fucking quiet the phone lines are? People don't want, listen, this is a show. We get more callers than anybody on this station. Anybody. To the point where the callers that started on this show have now started to matriculate to other shows. That's how many callers we get. The fact that motherfuckers ain't calling, I know I'm sniping a nerve. And I'm so sick of our immaturity as a people. We'll go viral because there was a tensious moment between Dr. Bryant and Cam Newton. Because that's entertainment. And motherfuckers is looking at it from their level of consciousness. Oh, she calling him out. She bringing him to the floor. She cleaning his ass right on up. Right? Then there's other people like, yeah, she on some hate shit, man. That motherfucker is a motherfucking star football player. Woo, wah, woo. He got millions of dollars. He can do what the fuck he want. So we're looking at it from these low levels of consciousness, and they're contentious. But when it comes to
This one?
no, that's her on the radio reading that fucking Dr. Seuss book.
How it go again? Rap it again?
It's something, she said something, it's 95 degrees.
It's 95
I ain't got no man, some shit. And a nigga ain't got me, some shit. She wild, yo. She fire, though.
Maybe the song is 95 degrees.
Is it 95 degrees? Do we have a clean one? Blood, he said, blood, this topic dope. Dr. Seuss in the Trap is funny. Inspire yourself with Danielle. Danielle, what do you think of tonight's topic? You could just type it in. What do you think of it? Ladies in the chat. I understand that there's this feeling that you always being attacked, and that's not the vibe I want to convey. I'm about like, did you see it? Did you observe it? Have you seen that happen? Blah, blah, blah. Not so much, because you know men are going to be like, yeah, she tried to get me for some bread. She tried to whoop, whoop, whoop. She tried to do this, that, and the third. But I'm trying to have a balanced understanding from both genders. I never feel attacked by you. Well, thank you, because that is not the intent. The intention is not to attack. The intent is to engage in the conversation in a way that we're honest. You understand? The rabbit has the gun now. Oh, wow. I just want us to be honest about the discussion, right? Oh, sugaring, covert, courtesan. Yeah. Yeah, like, I need perspective. Even a sunken ship has balance. Hey, what do y'all think about playlists, though? What do y'all think about the playlist? So what do we feel about that topic? It sounds very interesting. Have you been here for the whole show? Because we are 92 minutes into the show, and the show is nearly over. Attila said it's lit. I just want us to delve in. I know I done framed it up for damn near an hour. I am now a fan of most of today's rap. No, I just arrived, sir. We'll re-listen to record. Okay, perfect. Okay, you just got here. Well, thank you for even chatting with me. I appreciate that. I do. Kenny blessed. We don't have no winches in this chat. Sugaring is a concept in hoodoo. I would love, but that's sweetening. Like with a honey pot, am I right? Like when you create a honey pot and you put intentions and names and honey and flowers. Am I correct on that? Inspire yourself with Danielle, Love Light. Ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all not used to this kind of playlist, but this is the music that's out here right now. You're listening to the Voice of Reason live on KBLA Talk 1580. And we played that a little extended piece of that because Andy is trying to get us our video. Andy, go ahead.
How women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership. Would you date a bus driver? Would you date if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity.
Pause.
If he was...
Listen to what she's defining. Iyanla says, if he loves what he does. So love is part of her definition of what makes a man attractive. You hear people saying today, love ain't enough. Love is a verb. Love is based on a set of actions. I keep telling you, where there is unhealed wounds, there will be a demand, right? Just like a narcissist, there's a supply. This wound needs a supply of materials, something, attention, acknowledgement, something, money. It needs something. The wound is insatiable. It's hunger. Man, I can't wait until, I think in the first couple of weeks of September, we're going to have the sit down of the century. Dr. Cornel West is going to be on the Voice of Reason. Tavis Smiley has already put it down. Me and Dr. West are going to sit down and we're going to talk about, because Dr. West is a philosopher. He's also a Gemini like me. We're going to talk about what it means to be in a relationship with humanity, how to be in a relationship with a human being. We're dealing with how to be in a relationship with things and fear right now. That's why I'm playing the ratchet music. Things and fear. That is what the majority of our relationships are constituted of. Ebony K, brilliant, beautiful sister. Nobody can say she is not intelligent. But nobody points out the contradiction. You can't wear the crown of spirituality and yet be worried about your social position. I know we want to find this nexus, right? I know we want to find the crossroads where, this is where prosperity preachers came up so big. Because God don't want you broke. God wants you wealthy. First off, the flaw in the thinking is to think you know what God thinks. If you haven't reached self-realization, moksha, nirvana, self-actualization, you don't get to tell me what God thinks. Because the same book tells us we can't comprehend God. God moves in mysterious ways. So which one is it? So if you're saying in one breath, oh, my crown and spiritual and my black girl magic, but at the same time, we can't miss this Hulu bill. The HBO Max bill, the Netflix. We got to have the Disney. We got to have the bundles. We got the insurance, the car notes. Do you see? One is diametrically opposed to the other. Spirituality is freedom. Social standing is a type of bondage that can come and go. Do you understand? You can gain social liquidity and social mobility. You can gain it, but you can also lose it. Some of the biggest ballers have been some of the biggest fallers. So if he owned a bus station, wow. Okay, so let's flip it the other way. What if he's one of our truck driver brothers? Truck drivers do really good, make millions of dollars, can make millions of dollars, and they own their truck. Would you marry a truck driver? Do you see this transactional? How are you going to be transactional and you want a spiritual outcome? You can't be transactional with God because God ain't on your time. God show up when God is ready to show up for you, within you. But that's about you doing work on you. When we come forward, I promise I'm going to the phone lines. Are we good? Hey, who is C-Rock Smooth? C-Rock Smooth. Your question is, you believe in God now, Zoe? And then the question below you, when did Unc ever say he didn't? When have you ever heard me say I don't believe in God, brother? And this isn't to grill you. This is simply to just inquire. I just want to know where you came up with the question. I'm going to go check my Cash App and see if I can shout out some more folk. This has been this whole week has been crazy. Great shows. I love the changed narrative. So not only do you not answer the question, you come back with a statement of what you think about me. Let me just say this real quick, bro. I can argue for and against religion. I've been taught. Sure.
You got 3 more callers, and I'm just saying, you only got like 10 minutes.
Yeah. What's the clip?
What is it?
Yeah, I've been taught to argue for and against religion, but I've never been taught to argue.
Of a true femme fatale?
Did we play the coquette?
That's the one I actually. We didn't play the coquette.
We must. Yeah. So I've never. See, I can debunk religion, right? But I cannot debunk God, right? That is my argument when I talk to atheists. The word atheist, a in every Greek word means against. Atheos, against God. But they use religious dogma in the books to make their argument. And I keep telling them the books are written by men. So you can't really use the Bible to debunk God when quantum physics has already proved that with fine tuning. So I've never been against God. So you might have misunderstood what I said, brother. And I'm sorry that is the case.
The coquette. If you're convinced that the way to seduce another person is by giving them as much pleasure as fast as possible, you won't get far. Logically, this makes sense, but it doesn't work. Coquettes understand that pleasure is of no value if we experience it all the time. Pain is just as important because it gives us a reason to value pleasure and happiness. Coquettes keep the victim in suspense. They make the other person go through both positive and negative emotions. The victim might be in pain, but they won't leave because pleasure might just be around the corner. Coquettes are also attractive because they are a challenge. We want to conquer them, but they hold the cards. They are independent, and we will have to work extra hard if we want to make them fall in love with us. The strategy of the coquette is never to offer total satisfaction. Imitate the alternating heat and coolness of the coquette, and you will keep the seduced at your heels. Stop showering your victim with love and attention. If your love was given to the other person so quickly and easily, it will be perceived as cheap love.
Oh my God, I need you guys to look up The Coquette. This is in the Art of Seduction book by Robert Greene. I want you guys to look that up. Heavy stuff. A lot of people don't know. Game be getting run on y'all, and y'all just be confused. And men and women can play the role of the coquette. Let's get these callers in here. Who's been on the longest? Reverend L, Dallas, Texas. Get in here.
What's up, brother Zoe?
Man, what are your thoughts, man? We got to run through these calls. We got 10 minutes. Let's get it.
Okay, man. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I despise a sugar daddy or sugar baby. I despise them because what they do is they poison the ecosystem. They give the impression as if they've done the work to get the person that they're with, and they don't. They put up all these facades and I did this and I did that, but they didn't. They took the shortcut route, and when they took the shortcut route, the appearance is optics. The optics look good. They got a bad chick on their arm, or I got a high value man or whatnot, but they took the shortcuts to get there. And I just don't approve of that, man, because it messes up the ecosystem. Because when you have a basic, I won't say basic, when you have a person that's a hardworking person, good values, you know, they handle their business, they might not make $100,000 a year, but they're decent human beings. And then you have somebody who doesn't even know how to be on that level, and they look down on that type of person because that person isn't willing to come out of their pocket and put on fakes and frauds for them, then they devalue them. It's like a person going to the gym and getting the workout, and you see the progression of them getting their body straight. These people got the BBL, they stepped out, they lied and said they went to the gym to get that body, and they didn't. That's the same thing that's going on in this little dating pool. The same thing that's going on in these fake marriages. It's the whole facade. They're taking the shortcuts, and that's why they don't last.
Man, I appreciate the call. You brought Dallas, Texas in the building. I would only add one other thing, though. Men, hey, man, there's men older than me, and there's men younger than me dyeing their beard. Don't dye your beard. It's man makeup. Just be yourself. You want to call out the women with the BBL, call out the man with the painted face, right? Just let it. My uncle, I'm talking about my uncle right now. My uncle is 78 years old, mustache, black as this chair. I said, Unc, I'm fully gray, and I'm 25, 30 years younger than you. Knock it off, Unc. So again, sometimes, man, it's about the image we're more caught up in, man. We're caught up in the image. Just be real. That's why relationships be so fake. And I struggled with fakeness before. I'm sure somebody else has too. Let's get Attila from Houston, Texas in here right now. Let's go. Attila, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hi, Uncle Bill. Okay, real quick. I'm just going to say this. I think sugar baby culture is a result of intellectualizing relational safety and then just adding in the traditional gender roles. So that's why it looks so weird. We rationalize why it is we need to feel safe, sprinkle in a little bit of the gender roles and the social norms, and then you have sugar baby culture.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Crazy. Attila from Houston, Texas. You already know what it is. We appreciate you. Thank you for bringing your city in the building. And then my brother, Hustle from Miami, Florida. Hustle, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic? He already laughing. Here we go.
So I did see a sugar baby situation as I was going through downtown, and it made me consider it. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The sister was looking. It's almost like when you go into a store and you're looking at the top shelf,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're getting what you're buying, and the store's making a profit, listen, man, let people live their life, man. That's how I'm looking at it now, because we can't change it.
Let me hit you with this. Let me hit you with this, because it just what you said just struck some. If women keep playing these kind of games, do you think it will retard men's spiritual development? Because in a lot of ways, men will just think, all I got to do is get bread and I can buy her. Because isn't that how it is for a lot of men? Like, if I got the bread, you're going to do what I say. If I got the bread, I got the control. So if women start rejecting you just having bread, like you can't just have bread, right? There has to be some spiritual maturity, and spiritual maturity is not dogmatic articulation. It's not recitation of biblical or scriptural words. It's actual embodiment of certain levels of self-mastery. If they start doing that, that's gonna shorten their pool a little bit, but it's also gonna raise the quality from which they choose from, correct? Am I right or wrong on that?
Listen, you correct. However, water seeks its own level.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Talk to me.
The same way my healing brought me through to being able to step away from an avoidance sister that I brought up a while back.
Right.
So we both walked away smiling because I'm in a place where I'm able to stay neutral. And that shows my growth. So like I said, man, you know, if people gonna find, what you say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear?
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And a lot of people take that to mean something positive. Let me give you some layers to that, right? When you have a student who isn't ready for the lesson, right? What takes the place of the teacher?
Pain.
Yeah, you can say pain, but it is a lesson you can't opt out of. Do you see? And sometimes it's a punitive lesson. The universe has a way of thumping you upside your spirit that'll make you come back to your senses. So again, we have a certain level of agency where we say, you know, I'm not ready to hear this. I'm not ready to deal with this. And then the universe will up-level your experience. Does that make sense?
Equilibrium. I'll tell you, bro.
Hustle, guess what you just did, brother?
Dade County, man.
Dade County in the house. We appreciate all of the callers tonight. And again, from all over the country. Listen, we start the conversations. It's really up to you guys to finish them. This is a non-judgmental place, but I promise you, I'm not going to engage in lightweight discussions. Okay? I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to engage in lightweight discussions. If you want the drama that's out in social media right now, where people are using clickbait and, you know, people are, you know, I'm not that guy. What I'm going to do is challenge how you view yourself. I'm going to tell you, you want to show up in a relationship without looking at yourself? So you want to go into this relationship blind? You better go in trying to see how you're going to respond. You don't want to react, you want to respond. But the only way to do that, to keep yourself in check, is to observe how you show up. Not solely focused on what? How they show up and what they give you and what they provide. No, Look at how you're going to show. You know, at the last relationship, I couldn't keep my cool. You know, at the last relationship, I couldn't hold my tongue. You know, at the last relationship, my communication was bad. You know, watch how, you know, at the last relationship, I was avoidant. You know, the last relationship, I ghosted. You get what I'm saying? You have to be aware of self. That's what relationship is. It's a school of self-awareness. Anyway, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next week with another slapper. Hey. All right, bro. We lit. Straight fire. Fire. So you the GOAT. Come on, man. Tired of these stupid ass conversations. Swear to God, man, they be stupid. I appreciate y'all. We was lit tonight. Straight fire show, man. Appreciate all the feedback, all the support on the Cash Apps. I think we got 4 Cash Apps. You know, I'm grateful that you guys show up every day. And I'm first off, I'm grateful that you guys show up, and I'm grateful that got people like that helps with them damn topics. Shit. Topics be great. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Zoe.